Alright, today we're making a circle graph. A few things you need. You need a piece of paper. You need a compass. You need a pencil and a protractor. First thing you need to do in making a circle graph is you need to make your center point. So you hold your compass, you make sure you have a nice solid center point, and then you're going to choose a circle that will fit within your circle graph paper. You want to draw it just like so. Remember, always using the same dot. So to recap, step 1, center point. 2, draw a circle. The next thing you need to do is you need to have your data converted into degrees. And if you've watched the other video, you will know what to do. So I'm going to take an example, and let's say that I have some data that is equal to 60 degrees out of 360. Remembering a circle is going to show 360 degrees, so the most accurate way I can draw a circle graph is to divide my data, setting it up as something that is equivalent to 360 degrees. So either maybe I started out as a percent, maybe I started as a fraction over 24, etc. So now's the important part. Create a starting point. Actually, a starting line or radius. It doesn't really matter where it is on your circle, but I'm going to try to draw it right here. So again, a radius is the point from the center of the circle to the edge of my circle. And that's going to be where I start. So again, my example is 60 degrees. I need to draw an angle that is 60 degrees from this starting point. So I'm going to take my protractor. If you remember, a protractor shows degrees. It shows from 0 degrees to 180, and then also on the other side from 0 to 180 degrees. I line up this center point on the center point of my circle. Right there. I'm going to count 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then here is 60. So I'm going to draw a point right underneath the 60. If your circle is bigger and you have to draw it outside, that's fine. I can also just see where it's lined up, and if I wanted to, even though it's in my instructions, I'm drawing my point outside of the circle. I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm going to connect my center point with the point that I plotted on the circle's edge. And I'm now going to label this 60 degrees. So again, it's from here to 60 degrees. And I used the point out there because it was slightly more accurate. Let's say I wanted to do another set. So step 5, graph the data using protractor. Let's say the next piece of data I wanted to graph was about 75 degrees. I'm going to take the protractor. I'm going to start it at the center point, but now this piece is my new line. So this right now becomes my new starting line. Line up the center point with the center point. Again, I'm going to start counting. I always go 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And then right in between 70 and 80, here's the 75 mark outside here. Again, it's okay that it is not on my circle. Take my ruler, go from the radius to the point that I just made, draw a line, and now this new angle from here to here is 75 degrees. I can continue the entire way, always labeling my degrees, always having a new starting line, and always making sure I go from 0 to, and I count up to see the degrees. Let's say I had a really big one, like 130 degrees that I needed to go. Well, I can start at the center point. In this case, I do have 130 degrees I could go. Let's say I even had to go further. Let's say I had to go 200 degrees. So I'm now going to graph 200 degrees. 200 degrees is almost a full circle. Hopefully I still have enough here to make it. I'm not sure. We'll find out. So if I had to do 200 degrees from this line, I'm going to make some little marking points so that I know. I'll again line up my point. I lined up my protractor along my new line. I'm going to mark this point here for 180 degrees. That means I know I need to only go 200 more. So here's 180. I'm not going to draw a connecting line, but I'm going to use that. I'm going to flip my protractor over. I'm going to line up my center point with the line, and I'm going to go another 20 degrees, 0, 10, 20. Here is where I will draw that point. This will be 200 degrees. This angle here will be 200 degrees from that starting line. Take my ruler, draw my point, connect them, and voila! I just made a giant old angle that is 200 degrees. Don't forget, you'll need to make sure that all of your data points add up to 360 degrees, and then you'll be back at where you started, right here at 0 degrees, which you decided to just be your starting line, and then you are set. So center point, draw a circle, convert data into degrees, create your starting line radius, which was here, graph the data using the protractor, always line up protractor, right there, always line up the protractor with center point and starting line. Voila!